Hello, I am so excited to have you back for week 2 of my longevity sweat reset program. Again, my name is Erica Gutierrez, and I'm going to walk you through another week of great habits to increase the quality of your life. This week, we're going to get down to the cellular level of health, where it all starts. Here are the main ideas for today's session. We are going to talk about boosting your cells, boosting your immune system, and reducing inflammation, which will reduce pain. And we're also going to talk about this week's worksheet, how you can push your personal boundaries for personal growth, and a body exercise. When we have great cellular health, we think better, we feel better, move better, look better, and perform better. That's because at the very basic physiological level, our cells are responsible for everything our body does. By focusing on cellular health, it will support your circadian rhythm, DNA health, and ultimately it can increase your health span. Focusing on cellular health needs to be a part of every wellness routine. Cells need nutrition in order to get the required elements it needs. So it's specific foods that these cells need and eat. So oxygen from the air that we breathe, water from what we drink, and nutrition from the food we eat. Most of the elements we get in these different ways help make up the vibrance of the cell and it helps produce energy. The main macromolecules, which you might be familiar with, are carbohydrates, lipids, and proteins. There is another main component, it's called a nucleic acid, and this is genetic signaling. So, this also is a huge part of what actually happens at the cellular level. Let's start with carbs. They break down to glucose, which is the energy for cells, specifically the food source that's needed for the brain. Lipids, which are healthy fats, are made up of every single cell membrane. So when we have healthy fats in our diet, it creates a really robust cell membrane and it allows things in and out as they should. When we eat unhealthy fats, it allows for bad things to be able to get in and things to leak out accidentally. Proteins are so important because they are made up of amino acids, which are the building blocks for many functions in the body, including building muscle, for hormone production, and neurotransmitters, which are the different emotion, or it helps with oxytocin, it helps with different mood changing abilities. So, what do we all need at the cellular level? First, what we need to do is we need to bring in the right foods, get enough oxygen and water. Step two is making sure that your gut can actually properly break down the things that we're taking in so that the cells can actually use it. And it's super important to have lifestyle habits that properly will signal the cells to complete the desired actions. I like starting out with this. These are 4 different ways that you can make a quick shift in your body. So, we need to promote energy throughout the whole day. And a lot of times, what we do is push through during work and then feel very depleted in the evening. By doing some of these things all throughout the day, you can really help maintain energy in the evening. In your worksheet or workbook, you'll be able to see a couple different breathing exercises, but you can do a very basic one where you breathe in for 7 counts, breathe out for 8, and repeat it 5 times. I really like a exercise from Kundalini Yoga. It's called Breath of Fire, and it's real um, shallow but quick breathing that you do for 1 minute, and you repeat it throughout the day. And then there's another form I really like called pranayama breathing, which is alternative nose breathing. So if you look any of those up, I would highly suggest giving those a try and seeing which one you like best. But for me, this is a really great way to boost energy very quickly, especially the afternoon slump. Hydration is also really important. Even if you're not feeling thirsty, you likely need water. We wake up mildly dehydrated, so creating a habit where we start out with a glass of maybe warm lemon water would be great. And then, as you know, with sweating in the sauna, you do need extra fluids. There's no one set amount for everybody, but it's important to continually hydrate. Next week, we're going to dive much more deeply into sleep and stress management, but I do want to bring them up here because we don't focus enough on how much stress and lack of sleep can really affect our hormones. The big hormone we want to discuss is cortisol. This is the stress hormone, and it can greatly affect all of our energy. And movement is one way that you can actually bring cortisol down. So getting daily movement is going to be important. Today, I want to talk more about immune support. Some believe that if we can properly test or know our personal tendencies of how our immune system responds, we can better support and predict how we will react to illnesses and even predict some autoimmune diseases. So there are specialty tests out there right now. I'm not going to really get into those. I'm going to talk more about what you can actually do today. So each of the nutrients listed have a significant amount of research that benefit the immune system. Vitamin C, as you may even know, in even high doses, are very helpful at inhibiting viral replication and infection. So very supportive. Vitamin D is one of the most tested, I would say, to show people with low vitamin D levels often get colds and flus much more severely than people with good vitamin D levels. And living in the Northern Hemisphere, the majority of us are actually pretty low or have suboptimal levels of vitamin D. So by having good, robust vitamin D levels, you'll likely have less severe effects from a flu or a virus. Vitamin E is an antioxidant. It helps to reduce oxidative stress. Deficiencies in vitamin E have been shown to increase the ability for viruses to replicate, and it alters immune response in a bad way. Now, there are a lot of studies on vitamin E, and it's mostly suggested to obtain vitamin E through our food versus having a supplement form. Another nutrient is zinc, and this is an antioxidant, and it's very good it has a lot of antiviral properties. Now, some people are taking way too much vitamin or way too much zinc, and it can disrupt other nutrients within the body. So make sure you're not overdoing it on zinc, but zinc is very good at helping, especially if you're starting to feel sick, add some extra zinc. Probiotics help boost the immune system because the gut is the first defense and anything that's coming into the body. And when we have good gut bacteria, it naturally helps create antibody production. Glutathione is one of the most abundant antioxidants in the body. It regulates the inflammatory response, which we're talking about today as well, and then also reduces oxidative stress. What we find is that the majority of viruses thrive in an environment of low glutathione and high oxidative stress. So making sure we get enough glutathione. Glutathione is in a lot of fruits and vegetables, but you can also take this in a supplement form as well. So a varied diet full of produce, like we talked about last week, is a really powerful way to stay healthy. And here are some specific foods to consider for immune support. Mushrooms have very powerful immune health benefits. It's been used in Eastern medicine for a long time. In the last couple of years, medicinal mushroom teas have been coming out that help boost the immune system. Garlic, it can be crushed, chewed, or sliced. And when you break the cells apart, and it creates something called allicin, which is thought to give the garlic its immune boosting properties. So using fresh and crushing it will give you the best immune effects. Ginger's been used for a long time in Asia, and this is a powerful antioxidant, and it also has anti-inflammatory benefits. Lemons and limes are really high in vitamin C, as in all citrus fruits. Another really high produce in vitamin C is peppers, and these are really helpful at boosting the immune system because of the vitamin C. Bone broth is incredibly rich in minerals and vitamins, and very specific ones that help with the immune response. Honey's antioxidant and bacterial benefits help not only with digestion, but also with immunity as well. Apple cider vinegar, it has a lot of really good nutrients like vitamin C and E, and it's also a probiotic. And I love cruciferous vegetables because these are packed with all different vitamins A, C, and E, as well as antioxidants. I don't want to forget about all the different lifestyle habits that help boost your immune system as well. Getting adequate sleep, having fun, drinking enough water, getting movement every single day, staying at a healthy weight. So when a body is overweight, there is natural inflammation that occurs just because of that. So the closer to a healthy weight we are, the less inflammation we have. And then a huge piece is cutting out added sugars. Added sugars are inflammatory. I'm not talking about fruits or, honey, but it's the added sugars in things that even like in a flavored yogurt, there's often a lot of added sugars. So everything we talked about already today would benefit pain and inflammation levels, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. So inflammation shows up as more than just pain. It's often we think of the two together, but inflammation can occur through all parts of the body. The first one I want to talk about is inflammation in the brain. So people that have inflammation here have different disorders, Alzheimer's, things like that, but it could start with things like scattered thoughts or having trouble focusing. Cholesterol imbalances are another great marker for inflammation in the body. Growing evidence is showing that inflammation triggers an increase in production of cholesterol. This is the body's attempt to protect that lining of the blood vessels and arteries to avoid damage. But this creates that buildup and it causes or leads to different cardiovascular issues. A blood test you can do is an elevated CRP, a C-reactive protein. High levels here indicate inflammation throughout the body. And there's also a lot of linkages between high CRP and heart risk. The typical thing we think of is aches and pains. This is heightened pain sensitivity in the body. So if you feel stiff or sore, it could be systemic inflammation. Skin issues are another common one. It could be anything from redness or itchiness to flaky skin, or any other discomfort in the skin. Digestive issues are a big inflammatory response. The gut microbiome is so complex, often referred to as the second brain. And while many factors can disrupt this delicate balance, digestive issues can really be traced to inflammation in the digestive tract, often an imbalance of the bacteria, and the bad bacteria take over and cause extra inflammation in the body. Now, why does this chronic inflammation happen? Often there's some sort of a sensitivity or hypersensitivity to something in the environment. It could be something in your home, like mold. It could be in a manufacturing setting, like an industrial chemical. Something that's irritating the body will be causing inflammation, which can eventually lead to an autoimmune disorder. An example would be normal, healthy skin tissue, and it turns into psoriasis. Sometimes what happens is there's an acute inflammatory response, and it's something that our body never fully recovers from. There are extra ways that we can support reducing inflammation. Omega-3 fatty acids are a really great way to reduce inflammation. So having more fatty fish, avocados, those healthy fats is what we're talking about here. Turmeric or curcumin, it depends the form that you're taking, but that has been shown in many, many studies to be very helpful. Just make sure you're getting a good quality one. Adding those antioxidants. So we talked about the glutathione. vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E. Those are all antioxidants. And then also supporting the detox pathway. We're going to talk about this on week 4. The detoxification pathway is very complex, and there's a bunch of different phases the body has to go through. And based on environmental factors, or it could be genetic factors, sometimes one of the phases either speeds up or slows down, and it can cause a backup. And when we are not able to properly detox, it shows up as signs and symptoms in the body. And one of them could be pain. I have to bring up the sauna and how it relates to this topic. Remember last week we talked about it enhancing the mitochondria. So what happens when we're in the sauna is we're actually creating a minor stressor on the body, on the mitochondria, and it causes them to be more efficient. So it's like your body in a workout. Your muscles may be sore for a bit, but then they get stronger. The same thing is happening to the mitochondria, which are the energy, the power sources in the cells. So it creates them to work more efficiently. The other thing the sauna does is it really increases circulation, and this allows oxygen and the nutrients to reach areas that they normally don't, where we have all this different pain, and it can help support and bring healing. Okay, we talked about a lot already again today. So now it's time to take action on our weekly tracker. This week, I included topics that we discussed at the top, like I did last time. And what I'm looking for you guys to do is to find ways each day to go throughout the day, finding quick energy boosts. So think of this as powering your cells up. One of the things you can do is track your hydration. You can do the breathing exercises and get a little bit of movement. I also want you to consider nutrients that you might be low on: vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and antioxidant like glutathione. Remember, habits are so crucial. So rest. I think it would be great for you to track your added sugars and reduce those added sugars. Remember to keep it simple, but make sure to incorporate some of those immune boosting foods, which are cruciferous vegetables, mushrooms, bone broth, garlic, ginger. So many options. You don't have to like them all, but slowly try to increase some of those and see if it makes a difference on your how you're feeling, if other people are sick around you, if you have less pain. Essentially, your body should be able to bounce back much more quickly. We can all have the information to make the right choices, but there are many sneaky things that can come in and sabotage us. Some of the most common that I hear from patients is fear of failure. So many people I see fall short of their goals or do well because they fall back into old habits. It's really about being reasonable, finding things that feel easy, making it a habit before tackling the next goal. So get really good at one thing before moving to the next. Another thing that happens is we think we can't do something or it isn't like us. For example, I will never like vegetables. I will never be able to relax and sleep well. I am not a runner. I promise you can overcome all of these things. You are the one that's holding yourself back with those sort of beliefs. There's also really something to willpower. It's like a muscle. We have to work it, and we only have limited amounts. So that's why doing too much at one time can be hard. And when we do new things, it takes extra effort until we can create an automatic response or a behavior like brushing our teeth. So we want to create some habits, some health habits that become automatic behaviors. Some good books on this concept is a book called Willpower. There's another one, Willpower Instinct, one called Tiny Habits, and The Healthy Deviant. So check those out if you are interested in really enhancing your willpower. So I've heard so many examples of overcoming. I've personally experienced things and patients. I do suggest you start by looking into what's called the 4 Tendencies quiz. It will really help you better support yourself in doing hard things. You'll learn a little bit more on what it takes for you to stick to something. Some people need outside accountability. Some people need to not be told what to do. They're considered a rebel. So look into that quiz and see where you fall and what will best support you in making habit changes. But then I want to let you know you're on the right track if you feel any of these things, if you feel discomfort. And doing hard things can feel very uncomfortable, but it means you're on the right track. If you're making mistakes, that means you're challenging yourself and that you're learning and growing. So mistakes are okay, and you should expect those to happen. Please ask for help. When we're doing hard things, we need to call in those reinforcements. It's not easy to do things alone, and you will better succeed with others around you. And then if things feel difficult, expect that you're going to have a difficult time. Anticipate those obstacles. It won't feel so much like failure then. Okay. Now we're going to do a little exercise to go inward. So take a deep breath and begin to relax. This activity is going to be helpful if you experience pain or discomfort in different parts of your body. We're going to begin by bringing your attention into your body. You can close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. You can notice your body seated, feeling the weight of your body on the seat and your feet on the floor. I want you to just start by taking a few deep breaths. Just focus on the breath in and out. As you take a deep breath, bring in more oxygen, enlivening the body and those cells that we talked about. As you exhale, think about detoxing and creating a sense of relaxation. You can notice your feet on the floor. Notice the sensation on your feet touching the floor. It could be weight and pressure, vibration, heat. Then move up and notice your legs against the chair. Do you feel pressure? Do you feel pulsing, heaviness or lightness? Any pain? Just breathe in and out. Notice your back against the chair. How does your back feel? Bring your attention into your stomach. Is your stomach tense or tight? Let it soften. Take a breath. Notice your hands. Are your hands tense or tight? See if you can allow them to soften. Notice your arms. Feel any sensation in your arms. Let your arms and shoulders be soft. Continue to breathe. Notice your neck and throat. Let them be soft. Soften your jaw. Let your face and facial muscles be soft. Notice your whole body present. If there's any more lingering pain or sensations, take a moment to notice and release those now. Take one more deep breath. Be aware of your whole body as best you can, and take another breath. And when you're ready, you can slowly move your fingers and your toes. Adjust how you're seating and open your eyes. What signs or symptoms is your body giving to you today? Have you been able to acknowledge them and work through them? This is an activity you can do anytime you're feeling tense or having pain, and hopefully work through those things. Okay, so make sure to go into your account online and download the workbook and worksheet for this week. I want to thank you for being here again this week. I hope week one was a great jump start to your longevity practice. Remember, as you go through the week, as challenges pop up, you are already whole and complete. And these are just tools we're utilizing to level up and feel great. For those of you who want the sneak peek again, next week we're going to be diving into sleep and stress. And then week 4, proper detoxification, which is so important for everyone. I want to thank you again for being here, and I will see you next week.